Welcome to Security in Spring Boot REST Web Service Applications, a complete practical case study and tutorial with the Spring Security Framework, JSON Web Tokens, HTTP over SSL/TLS or HTTPS, digital certificates, public key infrastructure, and role-based authorization, a course by Howard Hyde. Now, the first order of business is to determine whether or not this is the right course for you. A good part of the answer to that question is implicit in the course title byline. In other words, we assume that you are interested in the Spring Security Framework overall, but you're looking for a more comprehensive understanding of what it takes to secure Spring Boot applications in your data center or in the cloud. You will likely need to secure the communication between your services and their clients and/or other services over the public internet. For that, you need a basic understanding of encryption, encoding, and hashing, and their named, branded, and throttled algorithms, HTTP over TLS or HTTPS, and digital certificates on the public key infrastructure. Once a request reaches your service, you need to implement authentication, use authorization tokens, the most popular of which today is JSON Web Tokens or JWTs, and implement role-based authorization so that users may only see or do what their roles legitimately permit. Finally, you don't want to have to read an encyclopedia's worth of reference documentation just to get a theory about 1,000 possibilities. You want a reasonable learning curve that gives you practical tools that you can start using right away as you incrementally build your knowledge base. All of the above is what this course is about. So let's look at the nature of this course as a practical case study, demo app, and tutorial, the structure of the course, and the corollary of what this course is not, so that you can make your informed decision as to whether or not you'd like to enroll. This course is targeted at application developers, architects, and IT cybersecurity professionals. It consists in a case study of a demo app with 2 Spring Boot REST web services, an Angular TypeScript UI client app, and PostgreSQL databases, which encrypts all communication between the browser and server via HTTP over SSL/TLS or HTTPS, establishes trust via signed digital certificates, public key infrastructure, PKI, requires valid credentials to log in, and we will be building a custom example user role resource action authority database to support that. It limits access to resources depending upon roles or authorities of user accounts, and employs JSON Web Tokens or JWTs as its authorization mechanism. It does not track sessions or JSession ID cookies and does not output HTML. Rather, we are focused here on representational state transfer or REST. We exchange JSON data payloads with clients, and we assume that client applications take care of all user interface elements, HTML code, cascading style sheets, JavaScript, etc. Now, implicit in this laundry list is that these are the security requirements completely beyond the functional or business requirements that our application must meet. Put another way, these security requirements would be the same whether we were building the next Amazon.com e-commerce site, an automated manufacturing platform, or, as we will see, an aviation scheduling system. Let's look now at the overall structure of the course. The Spring Security Framework will get the lion's share of our attention in this course, but before we get to that, in Part 1 we will present general cybersecurity principles that are applicable no matter what your specific implementation technology or programming language might be. In Part 2, we introduce the demo application and its components that will be used to demonstrate all of the principles that are being taught. This consists in 2 databases, or at least 2 logical schemas, 2 Spring Boot web services, a small custom library, and a client UI app written in Angular and TypeScript. In the short Part 3, we will complete our pre-flight checklist of items to consider before diving into Spring Security, mostly by demonstrating the implementation and configuration of the digital certificate and web communication over HTTPS. In Part 4, we will present a ready-made Spring Security solution for our demo app and its web services, emphasizing practical examples over theory. Now that we are familiar with a few techniques of weaving the Spring Security Framework's libraries and features into one app with specific requirements, in Part 5 we will discuss the more general theory and architecture of Spring Security so that you may have a deeper understanding of how our examples worked and how you may apply these principles to your own projects, which will certainly have different requirements, although our demo app has been carefully designed with very common cases in mind. Finally, a quick word about what this course is not. It is not a comprehensive encyclopedic exposition of every feature, bell and whistle of Spring Security. It's not a detailed presentation of database application development with JPA. See my previous course for that. It's not certification exam preparation. It's not a course in hacking, ethical or otherwise, penetration testing, or espionage tradecraft, as fun as those subjects might be. It's not a postgraduate mathematics or cryptography degree. And again, this course focuses on a stateless REST web service paradigm, exchanging JSON payloads. As far as web application functionality with HTML forms, stateful session tracking, and or JSession ID cookies, we will pass over those lightly. We will not develop them in depth in this course. And with that introduction, I hope you are ready to make your decision to enroll. This is the course that I wish had been available when I was learning this subject. If you still have any doubt, by all means, go ahead and watch the free preview lectures. I look forward to seeing you in the Part 1 discourses.